I appreciate it, and I appreciate the work that the committee is doing. Given that the federal government spends nearly $500 billion each year on contracts, the federal procurement market is incredibly important for all of the small businesses. And improving small business opportunities for federal contracts is a triple play. The small businesses win more contracts, workers win because small businesses create jobs, and the taxpayers win because the competition saves the government money and it improves the health of the industrial base. Over the last 3 years, the Armed Services Committee and the Small Business Committee have worked together on procurement issues, and I'm pleased to report this collaboration is working very well. For the first time in 8 years, it appears that the federal government met its small business goal. However, there's still a great deal of work to be done to ensure that the contracting community has the tools and guidance it needs to get the best results, and that small businesses don't face unnecessary burdens and barriers to the entry in the procurement process with the federal government. And to that end, the Small Business Committee recently marked up 5 bills aimed at further improving the competitive viability of our industrial base, and I introduced a 6th bill that has not been marked up yet. But I believe these initiatives, all of which have bipartisan support, tie into the recommendation presented to this committee in 2012 by the Panel on Business Challenges in the Defense Industry, which is led by Mr. Schuster and Mr. Larson. The small business bills should complement the efforts of the Armed Services Committee in this Congress. Therefore, I'm here today to support the inclusion of these 6 bills in this year's National Defense Authorization Act. And I detail them, each of the initiatives in my written statement, but I'll just briefly mention them here. The first 3 bills seek to make general improvements to small business programs. The first addresses the treatment of veterans and service-disabled veterans seeking to do business with the government by improving the verification process with these firms. The second bill tackles the lack of reliable data on the contract bundling and consolidation process, which are practices that unnecessarily preclude small businesses from competing for contracts. And the third bill is a provision embraced by this committee in the fiscal year 2013 defense authorization, which raises the government-wide small business contracting goal from 23% to 25%. And spending levels decrease. This is going to protect small businesses at the heart of the industrial base. The remaining 3 bills focus on challenges for small business in the construction industry. The first makes it easier for small businesses to obtain the necessary bonding to compete, and does so at no cost to the taxpayer. The second takes the lessons learned from the policy enacted by the Corps of Engineers on reverse auctions and expands them government-wide to protect small businesses and the taxpayers alike. And the third improves the way we conduct design-build contracting to decrease the cost to government while it increases small business opportunities. This last bill is pending before the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, which I understand that committee of jurisdiction has to be consulted. The first 5 bills received bipartisan support in the committee, passed by voice vote, and are supported by numerous small business groups. And the final bill has support from agencies, industry, and the bipartisan group of members. Each bill supports the intentions, if not specific recommendations, of the panel report produced by this committee last Congress. And most importantly, each bill provides more opportunity to small businesses to create jobs at a price that is in the best interest of the taxpayers. I'm pleased that our 2 committees are working very well together and very cooperatively, and I hope this language can be incorporated into this year's defense authorization. With that, I thank you for your time.
Any questions? The gentleman from Colorado, recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to thank Chairman Graves for appearing before the committee today. I would also like to offer my thanks for your support for the inclusion of House Resolution 28882, the Improving Opportunities for Service-Disabled Veteran-Owned Small Businesses Act, in the 2014 National Defense Authorization Act. The Small Business Administration and the Department of Veterans Affairs both verify the status of service-disabled veteran-owned small businesses. As a member of the House Small Business Committee and the House Veterans Affairs Committee, I have heard numerous stories from veterans about problems with the current procurement programs for service-disabled veteran small businesses. Under the current system, a company can qualify at one agency and not another for procurement preferences. The inconsistency often adds cost, confusion, and opens the door to fraud. Moreover, the current process requires the VA to make decisions that are outside their expertise, such as determining business structures. My legislation will transfer the VA verification process for firms to the SBA. unify the definitions of service-disabled small businesses and veteran-owned small businesses, and add transparency. I want to again thank Chairman Graves for coming to this committee today. I urge the committee to accept Chairman Graves' request for the inclusion of these small business measures in the National Defense Authorization Act, including my legislation, H.R. 2882. And with that, I yield back.